Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Deadfire with me, Break It Down.
Right.
Let's destroy the Sigil of Atrophy first
How
thing.
may I help?
Yeah, that's it.
Bring your end.
Good. Death take you. I am ready.
Then I want to equip Console Hot and level up Palagino. Athletics and Intimidate. Let's go and grab this. Granite's beast lit the night with his breath. Calls down a drake from the skies to fight for the party. And while I'm thinking about it... Oh! I never activated this. I assumed that it would activate by itself, and I never... Huh, whoops.
On it.
Well, the more you know, right? The Panther. This volume records the text of a Hwana constellation legend. One passage has been underlined. Reaching for her quiver and finding it empty, the huntress cast her bow to the ground and resolved to fight the Panther barehanded. This brass telescope has recently been cleaned. Both lenses are polished to a fine sheen. Look through the telescope. The glare of the daytime sun prevents you from detecting any stars. You have to wait for night. Works out, we do have an injury.
You call this fine Ediran mead? I call it unfit for pigs.
That was cool.
Okay.
The console hat speaks while we're camping.
I am ready.
Alright, wait till midnight.
I have never seen anyone brood as forcefully as your bird woman.
Will do.
This brass telescope... Oh, we already read that. I'll look through the telescope. An ocean of stars stretches out before you. The night sky is no stranger, but you seldom see it with such intimacy. A dizzy spell overtakes you. The stars blur out of their normal positions. When your focus returns, each of the celestial bodies cracks open, one by one, their light bleeding together. The stars converge to form a series of winking eyes. Greetings, pal. The words spell themselves out in the stars. Beneath the winking eyes, the crescent moon slowly widens and rotates into a grin. Say nothing. While you're looking around, try not to think too hard about what's up here. Some secrets are worth keeping. The largest of the eyes winks. You blink, and the night sky reasserts its normal configuration.
You look like you could use some fresh air.
Aloth blinks at you in concern. That was a neat interaction. I wonder what he's hinting at, though. Look for the constellation of the Huntress. You spot the Huntress with ease, her bandolier of weapons standing out as a band of stars. You take down the constellation's coordinates. Look for the constellation of the Kingfisher. You note the position of the Kingfisher just above a particularly bright pairing of stars. You take down the constellation's coordinates. Look for the constellation of the Panther. You spot the Panther near a crescent of stars meant to represent a fallen bow. You take down the constellation's coordinates. Look for the constellation of the Leviathan. The Leviathan is positioned over a cluster of stars in the shape of a shattered canoe. You take down the constellation's coordinates.
At once.
The orrery controls are oiled and ready to be manipulated. Okay. Enter the coordinates for the Huntress Legend constellations. As the last number settles into place, hear the sound of dormant gears beginning to turn. A low vibration builds under your feet. A whale of a wand. And Bekarna's research. So superb. Beast imagined. Hits with this weapon have a 5% chance to cast Form of the Helpless Beast on their target. And sea stories. Spell hits have a 5% chance to charm targets. Seems really good. Responsibility for the great histories of Rauatai falls to the most trusted chanters of the Lore College. This Grimstraw wand was the personal implement of the venerable chanter Skald, Kaliwi the Storyteller. As a wandering lorekeeper, Kaliwi traveled the islands of the kingdom spreading tales of great heroes. Kaliwi used this wand not only as a tool of defense from the ever-present dangers of the Deadfire, but to enhance her stories with vivid imagery, colors, and sounds, a technique she called weaving. She was especially fond of weaving her stories for children. To Kaliwi, the mind of a child was eager to believe in the unbelievable and find comfort in the fantastical. The greatest stories, after all, do not have necessarily happened to be true. A bit of illusory magic persists in the wand. When held, it whispers of tall tales, dazzling deeds, and the altogether extraordinary. It's a really good weapon description. And just a dream. Prevents a severely injured character's health from reaching 0 for a brief moment. It looks more like an O, not a 0. Woven Waves. 5% chance to cast Crush Damage Water Wave at target on hit. Fantastic Friends. Summons a pair of drakes to fight for the caster. And Tall Tales. Hits with this weapon have a 5% chance to cast Archimir's Dazzling Lights on their target. Yeah, that seems really good. Alright, Bekarna's research. This journal details the wizard Bekarna's studies of the night sky. She built an observatory and crafted specialized instruments to research her theory that some arcane energies originate from incredibly remote sources, perhaps even the stars themselves. Her final entry reads, "The stars are either dead zones or my instruments lack refinement. Shouting over their energy signature is a concentration of soul essence moving through the Deadfire, enough to justifiably be called a river. Oddly, it seems to pick up speed where it veers off to the northeast, as if drawn into a whirlpool. What is this region hiding that can exert such a tug on reincarnation itself? Bekarna, you are in way over your head."
Ah, at once.
Alright, it is time to return to Neketaka. We have 2 quests to turn in.
When the wheel has ground you all to dust, only I will remain.
You say so, buddy. If you say so.
If you require directions to Bekarna's observatory, look to your sextant.
Archimagi gestures for you to speak freely. Bekarna, I found this old almanac in an orrery. Look familiar.
You did you? That does rather defeat the purpose of absolution.
Archimagi tugs on his lower lip and scrutinizes you.
So be it. Follow me down to the scrying pool.
Like how he didn't give us directions or guide us down here. He's assumed we knew where it was since we broke into his house before. I'm not sure that was the intent behind the lack of guidance dialogue, but it'd be funny if it was. Archimedes' eyes are closed in deep concentration, his attention entirely focused on the glowing pool in front of him. Archimedes gestures down at the scrying pool. You peer into the waters. Dark silhouettes sit arrayed in a circle, and the surface of the pool ripples in tune with muted voices carrying from below. Knock on the surface of the water. All of the seated figures turn to you at once, their faces obscured by hoods. One of them makes an impatient beckoning gesture. Dip your face in the water. No sooner does your skin break the surface tension than you feel a breeze of warm air. You're peering into a stone chamber ringed with braziers and tapestries as you would an open window. Robed men and women clutch the armrests of their thrones. Water drips down your chin. The other Archmagi seem for the moment unfazed by your presence. And Amoa folds her arms and stares down another woman who keeps her fists balled at her sides. Ooze drips from the sleeves of the Amoa's robe and pulls at the floor. You mistake the matter, Kalikoth. My curiosity and perusal are not endorsements of her research. Mara nods with an air of boredom. Bekarna won't suddenly be vindicated by the likes of us having simply read her work. Something green and twisted wriggles under the table. Kalikoth points down and a flash of light incinerates it on the spot, filling the room with the stench of overcooked snails. A suppressed chuckle carries over the silence that follows. You're a slippery fiend, Mara. Some of us refuse to taint our reason with the half-wit conclusions of circle rejects. And keep the slugs to yourself. Kalikoth grits her teeth. Clear your throat. Ah, the guest of honor. Apologies that I didn't bring a goblet to raise to your lips. Mara waves from her seat at the table. Apologies also that Kalikoth is holding up the meeting with one of her moods. We could get started if she would banish the thing enamored with my ankles. Kalikoth points an accusing finger at Mara. I swear she baits me at every turn, Archimagi. You call this conclave. Hope you're ready to impose some be-darned courtesy. Mara, your pets can wait outside. Archimagi waits patiently as Mara makes a shooing gesture. A wet slurping sound echoes in the hall, as something dark and large makes its way toward an exit. If we're ready to speak rationally, our patience is about to be rewarded. He strokes his beard and sighs, inviting you to speak. Where exactly are we? Between locations. Nowhere you could pin down with an exactly. Vinoletta shrugs, wearing an apologetic smile. This is the renowned slayer of Lengroth. My, what a surprise. Ringrim rests her chin on her fist and regards you with pursed lips. She glances across at a woman digging her nails into the tabletop. One Lengroth. He killed but one. The current Lengroth raises a finger. And we have Council Hot equipped, so I wonder if he's, by proxy, attending this meeting. And her pets. Terisylphus and Gaffinosers. Gaffernursos. Or Nurkos. That was a soft or hard C. Those she raised from eggs. She raises two more fingers, breathing heavily. She didn't give me much of a choice. Let me speak to you of choice. Lengrath raises her finger and makes to rise. Nenegoth massages his brow with both hands. His posturing is without value or reason. Get on with it, old man. He beckons to Archimir. I was about to do exactly that. The Archmage nods and clears his throat, elbowing you out of the way so that his face commands the scrying pool. Bekarna was no Archmage, but we all agree that she was on the cusp of a breakthrough before her unfortunate disappearance. Archimir takes the book from you and licks his finger as he begins to turn pages. Why did you never officially recognize her? Her studies had no merit. They yielded nothing of interest or relevance. Until today. Archimir raises an eyebrow. Be that as it may, someone did not wish for this breakthrough to occur. For that alone we have good reason to seek knowledge of her amateurish, if enthusiastic research. Archimir's eyebrows form a steep triangle as he arrives at a page of mathematical figures and coordinates. Someone. Have a culprit in mind, do you? When several gazes turn to you and several mouths open to speak up, Archimir silences them all in turn, the loud clearing of his throat. It seems she arrived at one of our conclusions. A river of soul energy flows through the Deadfire. Archimir nods. And yes, she traced the path of the river while we only speculated on its existence. Archimir pulls on his beard and squints down at the almanac. I haven't detected anything. Of course you have, and pillars of luminous Adra. Those are the outcroppings. We sought to trace the trajectory or their roots. Archimir falls silent as an unwelcome idea reflects in his expression. Bekarna. Evidently she was the first of us to succeed. Archimir sets the book aside and pulls out a vellum map of the Deadfire. He traces his finger from the shallows of the Great Reef northward. Where it goes is not my immediate concern. I'm occupied by who presently follows it. The path of Aethys is winding but unerringly intentional. His finger begins to stray east. He pauses on open ocean, his brow furrowed. Could that be? Tane leans forward, trailing off as he cranes his neck for a glance at the parchment. Suddenly, all of the attention shifts back to you. I think we've taken more than our share of the Watcher's time, unless there are any final questions. Unblinking, Archimir lifts his brow and waits, your dismissal hovering on his tongue. Why was Council Hot so interested in this? Are you keeping secrets from us, old man? This is the first I'm hearing of it. Minoletta rests her chin on her fist and fixes Archimir with a severe glare. It wasn't of immediate pertinence. Besides, Council Hot has been dispatched yet again, esteemed mistress of missiles. Archimir favors Minoletta with a stiff bow. Your flattery has gone stale. To address the Watcher, I imagine that Council Hot wished to sustain his wicked existence on a font of essence, but you kindly put a stop to that. Minoletta nods, favor you with the smile that she denied Archimir. And I joined the circle. You'd asked us after robbing my manor. I showed you the decency to spare your life. Archimere turns to you, his expression pale and affronted. Around the table of Archmagi, someone chokes on a sip of wine. Absolutely not. Will there be anything further? Archimere waves his hand, the matter closed. You're holding something back. What is it? Archimere takes on the other members of the circle. Their responses are myriad. Some shake their heads, others shrug, and others still lean back in their chairs, waiting to see how it plays out. Better that I remain silent on the matter. If we wish to invite you into our confidence, you would surely know of it. Wait, I don't get to hear the rest. Are you a member of the Circle? I hope you don't think we would divulge our secrets to a mere mercenary. Archimere's gaze hardens, and a self-congratulatory smile cleaves his face. You're not entitled to everything I own, burglar. Leave. Nothing further, Archmagi. Or Magi. Here, baubles for your service. Not that you deserve them. Consider your debt repaid with interest. Archimere turns back to the circle and pointedly ignores you. Oh, here it is. Well, there's all my illusion spells.
Yes?
Sure.
Well, maybe they'll come contact us again when they need us to track down Aethys. I would say it seems like a significant plot point to just be dropped. But it's also something we're going to end up pursuing by ourselves regardless.
Buy something.
Might buy that for Facino.
Huh?
But not right now.
You have...
Do not leave me in suspense, I say. Have you found Matario Cozy?
Aruihi raises his brow and gestures for you to speak. Your expedition never made it off Matario Cozy. I'm sorry.
I sent good women and men to die in the name of the tribes and in the vague hope. May Ngati thank them for their courage and Wodaka for their loyalty. May they return to us as Rangas.
Aruihi raises a shaking hand to touch his lowered brow.
What of their findings, Watcher? Did they recover anything? Anything about Ukaizo?
Give rubbing. I found this ancient Huana navigational chart. Prince accepts the chart in silence, holding it up to the light and poring over every detail with interest. His hands tremble as he holds the paper.
An unusual accounting of the isles, I say. Each one measured in relation to...
His finger drifts up to the sigil of Ukaizo. Aruihi nods. You have what you need to find Ukaizo.
If I did, my sister would hold a parade in your honor. Ngati is one to throw obstacles in our path, but I say that an outdated chart is better than none at all.
Grinning all the while, Aruihi rolls up the parchment and tosses you a heavy pouch of coins. Sailing uncharted waters isn't cheap.
Ikera, here, for your expenses.
He tosses you a lighter pouch.
When we know enough, my sister will finance a fleet-wide search. Not for breadcrumbs, but lost Ukaizo.
I had some trouble with the Royal Deadfire Company on the open sea.
Ikera, they will not let you escape with what they could so easily steal.
Prince Aruihi murmurs under his breath.
But will they not find the original chart as unprotected as a Reparo food pile?
Assuming they survive the jungle. Probably.
I expected better judgment from an agent of the crown.
Aruihi folds his arms and presses the bridge of his nose. I assumed you'd want to keep your artifact intact. My bad.
Even with the help of the gods, our task was unlikely before these complications, I say.
He waves you on, eager to change the topic. The bark cloth was a message from the Wahaki to deter any visitors.
For what do they protect Matario Cozy, when its knowledge could help all Huana? One day I will have words with their Ranga to settle our differences.
Nothing more to report, Your Highness.
This is much to learn in a day, even for this warrior.
Aruihi touches his brow and considers.
I sent the expedition to their fate, and those who followed. Death is on my conscience this day.
He lifts his gaze to meet yours. Say nothing.
May all who fell on Matario Cozy slip through the eel's jaws. Huana and outsider alike.
Sighing, Aruihi bows his head.
But on to brighter times, I say. If Ukaizo can be found, then so too will the hopes of our people be made manifest.
His mask of grief breaks under the pull of a broad smile.
The Queen and I make plans for the future. If you continue to make yourself useful, I say there is a place for you in them. She will call on you when the time is right. Ikera?
I had some questions.
If there's curiosity to be satisfied, Akira, I will help. Akira, both topics I know well.
How does the caste system work in Neketaka?
It is the same in the city as anywhere in the Deadfire. Mataru judge our souls at birth and organize us for the survival of the tribe.
Aruihi pauses and frowns to himself.
I am not the first to say it, but Neketaka has more walls than beaches, more roads than clearings, and more people than fish. Nowhere in the city does a Raparu sit around the same fire as a Mataru. Neketaka tests our traditions, I say. Akira, speak on, I say. I hope you find our city.
Huh? Sure.
Okay, we're done here for now. Gotta decide which quest I'm gonna pursue next. I think I want to sail straight east and then sail south and clear out the southeastern side of the Deadfire. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do next. We'll hunt down any bounties that are out that way, track down any quests. That's a good direction to go in. But for now, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next one.